Okay, you guys are on somewhat of an enchanted walk with me right now. This forest it's a little wood actually. I wouldn't call it a forest, that's a little bit, it's aggrandising it above and beyond what it deserves, but it's what we local yokels like to call the Enchanted Wood, because there are like so many wood carvings everywhere that different local artists have come along and made. And there's loads of them all over this wood, so I can't show you them all, but I just thought I would show you a few because, you know, I think there are some things in this life that you discover and you never really get bored of them, do you? They're so magical that you always return to them. I think pagans just totally get where I'm coming from here. Of course, the phases of the moon never get dull, they never get mundane. You know, watching a bee dance with a flower, watching them do their thing, the age-old thing that you can watch anytime you like. You can watch it in your own life as the seasons change. You can even switch on and watch David Attenborough talking about it, but it never becomes dull. It retains its majesty. There's something so soothing about that, the kind of majesty that can be retained. Doesn't matter where you find it, if it always does the trick for you, then that's something very beautiful, and that's something very healing for the psyche. And this little part of the wood is one of those things for me. It's just a weird, strange little thing, these wood carvings, and just how quiet it is. I mean, time is getting on now. It's about 7:15, 7 o'clock in the morning, so I might come across someone with their dog who thinks I'm crazy, although if they know anything about the wood carvings they'll understand why I'm filming them. I guess they're turtle doves or a couple of pigeons maybe. Oh, this guy is so dear to my heart, the little monkey. I suppose if you were sort of inclined differently to me, you might find this a bit creepy, maybe. And I think if you were walking down here at dusk or whatever, and you weren't expecting to see these carvings, and one kind of jumped out at you, like this guy, for example, this guy I love. Look at that. If you didn't know these carvings were here and this guy just jumped out at you, like you just did a double take and saw him there, I think you might be a little alarmed. I've been meaning to name this guy for a while. I bet loads of people that walk past him regularly have named him. But every time I see him I'm kind of tempted to name him Rasputin. And that, for anyone who knows their Russian history, is very creepy. I don't actually recall if there are any more down this pathway, but while I've got your attention, I suppose I might just say that, you know, sometimes when I go for my morning walks, oh here's one, sometimes when I go for wanders on my own, I feel like I'm really getting down to the crux of what's going on, because I'm giving myself that chance to listen. But as a pagan, I'm very, very in touch with the maxims, as above, so below, and as within, so without. And basically when we say these things, what we're really meaning is that everything, nature is everything, which is the case, and everything that's going on in your life is a reflection of the outer world. The tides changing and the phases of the moon and the ebbing and flowing of death and flourishing, always death and flourishing, things dying off and things coming into being. You know, the senseless tragedy of it, if you see it that way, but also the poignant majesty and the oneness and the perfection of it, if you see it the way I see it. And I think when you consider your thoughts and your feelings when you're out in nature like this, and I say nature is in green places, because I also believe that new brutalist architecture is nature, and so is the atom bomb. But that's another pantheist story, a pantheist conundrum to get into. But when I'm in the green places, that's what I'm going to call them from now on so we don't get confused. When I'm in the green places, I feel like there are a lot of different things happening, life going on, things unfolding, things catching my eye and catching my attention that can potentially remind me of what's going on in my own life and give me lessons. I find lessons in the green places, I find answers. I find that silence between the cracks that really gives me that nourishment that I need, and I find the buzz of different phases of activity and different things going on. I find that to be illuminating. I find the sound of a bird's wing against the air, like that frantic sound, I find that to be a blessing, and sometimes an alarm bell, and sometimes a chance to change, a chance to turn my head, a chance to see things for what they are in a sense. Blessed be, darlings.